Alrighty guys, welcome back. We're not working on this today. Actually, I have something totally new. Not that I'm not working on this. I just have an ADHD brain and 80 of them. Yeah, I got 80 of them. Anyways, I got other things that I want to do. As, actually, so we can tell, maybe. Yeah. Kind of hard to see, but way up at the top of them trees, they're starting to change color. You know what that means? That means we're going to have snow sooner than later. Snowmobile. Anyways, that's actually not what this is here for. Because this pole, Indy Trail Deluxe, is not in great shape. She's a little rough, unfortunately. The seat's in good shape, which is actually surprising. Usually seats are, I mean, it's a little faded, but it's fixable. Get me! Yeah, there we go. Anyways, she has seen better days, unfortunately. Which is actually fine. I have no need for literally any of this except for the track. Because I would like to build a track sled. Now, you might be wondering, what is a track sled? A track sled is basically like a snowmobile in reverse. Instead of you riding on it, on the old bench seat, you're going to get in a sled, stand about right here, pretend I'm in a sled, and get dragged along by this thing. Now, am I going to be using the really rough looking 570 fan? Probably not, because that thing looks like it's seen better days, which it has. Enter this thing. This is a Yanmar single cylinder, air cooled, 10 horsepower diesel. Now, you might be thinking, man, those 570 fans probably had about 40-50 horsepower. You'd be right. It did have probably about 40 or 50 horsepower. Quite a downgrade from 10. Yeah, track sleds aren't really meant to be fast. They're more utility really than anything. But, of course, I can't leave nothing alone. So I have a turbo kit on the way. We're going to turbo this little thing, which will probably make it about 15-ish horsepower, give or take. Kind of more give than take there. But everybody loves turbo diesels. So yeah, we're going to make a turbo diesel track sled. Because, why? Why not? Turbo diesels are cool. Track sleds are cool. Snow machines are cool. So mainly this project just starts with teardown. Alrighty, not sure how long that's going to be in time lapse, but engine's out. So I did make one oopsie doodles. I accidentally cut the oil line, which is fine. I guess we'll start pulling the rest of this stuff off. Engine's out. Only had to cut one bolt. Everything else out came actually pretty nice, if I'm being honest. So now we just got to get everything else. Start working our way back. Alrighty, so we're back. I got the seat off because I got guys that want some of the stuff. This is going to be pretty long. She's got quite the full track there. The track's in good shape. I did get everything freed up. Got to get this oil tank off of there. And then everything else should just be cutting. Oh no. We're going to take these front A-arms or whatever. And then probably just get out the old Sawzall and rip most of that off. So yeah, let's work on some of that. Alrighty, we're noseless now. Sort of. There's still a few more things. I'm actually going to set this aside for a second. Grab the broom and clean. Because there was a lot of gross shit in there, which is now out there. But try and clean this up a little bit. We'll probably pull the column off of there. Down here, pull that off. Get it out of the way. And then work our way on getting the rest of the track out. So the rivets and all the other stuff that we don't need. Alrighty, so got a little bit more done. We'll zoom you around here. Got the secondary clutch off. That was a 2.5 hour fight for what should have been like a 15-minute job. What is off there? I got these off, these secondary foot pedals, because somebody I know wants them. Probably going to end up turning this thing on its side and starting to shave down the rails. And then probably think about how I want to beef up these side rails a little bit, because this tunnel, you know, that's, without all the extra body, it's pretty flexible. So I think putting something on there to kind of stiffen that chassis up a little bit would be better. We'll do some more cutting out of the front, kind of trim this up, get it open. That way the track can actually bite into some snow. So yeah, we'll start with that. Alrighty guys, so we're back another day, and got a little more work done. So we've got the track out, the skid out of the, well, this. We've got the sled cut up. We've got the sides off of it. It's pretty much as lightweight as possible. I'm going to take the suspension out of this and lock it up. Got the springs out. Great time to kind of check over the bogey wheels, tensioners, etc., which those move pretty free, so that's good. But we're going to take the suspension out and lock this up. So you really don't need suspension because you don't ride on it. So, you know, take a little bit of weight out of it. I've got some steel to replace it. Actually, it's aluminum. And then I've got some aluminum bracing that I'd like to run along the side here and try and brace up the front of this thing. So we're going to work on locking this out and go from there. All right, guys. So a little bit more done. Different day. I got a lot more done. I ended up finishing up some handlebars. I still don't know if I fully like where they're at when they're connected back here. I might move these down, but I did make this adjustable. I need to put some stuff here. I want to cover this backside up. Put a little plate over it or something, just kind of clean it up a little bit. But uses the standard handlebars that came off the Polaris. I've just got the diesel sitting on there right now. We've got side rails. So what you didn't see is I took all of this apart. I flipped this over. I locked out the suspension so there's no more suspension in this thing. Cut these side rails off a little bit. I still got a little more trimming here and there to do. I added these side rails here that are kind of stiffener plate rails. They just bolt in to where this underside is riveted together. Kind of to stiffen this up because this never had a heat exchanger, so there's no backing to it. It's just it's pretty flimsy. Like a good example, you can kind of see. You can't, maybe a little bit. It wiggles too much. Obviously, the motor's just set on there for now, just kind of for space issues. So I can kind of see what I got going on. I'll probably move it forward, maybe. I got to see. I've got a torque converter coming, a Series 40 that we're going to put on this thing. And then I've got a few more. I built this little jack shaft because we need, the torque converter is going to come off to the side here. And then we need a way to get that power out and across here. And this will give me ability too to swap a gear set over here. And I'm thinking it'd be real nice to have a high and a low range maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing around with ideas. So reverse now works. I got to change that gear case oil, but it is functioning as intended. I'm probably honestly just going to clamp this guy on here somewhere. And then leave this here. I don't think I'm going to go to the trouble of pulling it, making a longer cable and pulling it up to the handlebars or anything, honestly. It just doesn't really make sense to me. We will, however, get throttle and do some ignition stuff, and then probably clean up the front end a little bit more, but I would like to open that up just a little more so there's a better angle of attack. Ooh, excuse me. Like I said, these are just kind of bolted on these side rails. I may move these down and then extend this up. I haven't really figured that out. Still kind of thinking about it. It's just kind of just as you go. You know, there's no real set rules for any of this. So, but I've got that Series 40 coming. We'll do that, and then we can at least chain it up and get some stuff testing before we go and turbo this thing. So I think that's going to do it for this video. There's a lot going on here, but this was a lot. I know there's a lot of kind of stuff in between where we left off and where we are that I missed just because I thought I was filming and I wasn't. You know, it is. If you're not paying attention, sometimes, you know, when you got room temperature IQ like I do, it doesn't always work out for you. So, but this is where we are for now. We got the stiffener rails on the side there. We're probably going to run something to cover up. I did leave a little edge there just for some extra chassis stiffness. Like I said, it's completely locked out, so you can, you know, there's no suspension anymore. It's just solid, which is fine. You don't need suspension because nobody rides on the damn thing. So, yeah, we're going to go from there. And like I said, I might end up moving those handlebars. I don't know if I'm going to like them right there. I might move them down a little bit to the kind of back of the bumper here so you got a little more stiffness in the chassis. We'll see. We'll see. But, yeah. So far, here we go. This is our this is going to be our diesel track sled. So stick around. At some point or another, I will make a part 2 as I get more parts. Don't judge me too much. Stuff goes around here a lot. I mean, I got this project. I got everything floating around. So I only get to stuff when I get to stuff. And like I said, I got 80, you know, ADHD. Got 80 of them some bitches. So, you know, stuff gets thrown around, lost, misused, judged, whatever. But we will have this thing up and running. I'd like to take this to Winterfest just because I think it'd be really funny. It's what I'm going to do. So, you know, if you were a 90s baby like I was, you probably grew up watching SpongeBob. And I want to get one of those fake rocks to cover this up in the front. Like one of those big fake plastic rocks they use for covering water meters and stuff. As SpongeBob once said,
A rock. Oh, the pioneers used to ride these babies for miles, and it's in great shape.
It's not a boulder. It's a rock. And the pioneers used to ride these babies for miles. So I think that's the overall goal with it, is to just be something absolutely ridiculous. Because I think that would just be funny as hell to see somebody riding a rock around on the lake. But that's just me. So yeah, here we go. First little bit of the diesel track sled. So that'll do it for this video. Like, subscribe if you want to stick around and see all the other fun stuff I do. Later.